Alrighty, welcome everyone today. So today we're going to have a quick go through a little bit of HTML and we're going to make our first web page. We're going to do this all in what's called Notepad++. Notepad++ is just a program, so if you jump on into your favorite browser of choice and you type in Notepad++, it'll come up as one of the first options and you can just click download the most recent version. It's perfectly safe. Go through the installation process. I've already done this. And then you should be good to go. You'll know you should be good to go because it should automatically start up. If it does not, you can always just go Windows key S, Notepad++, and you'll notice there's Notepad regular and Notepad++. We're going to be working in Notepad++. Alrighty. So when yours comes up, it's probably not going to look like this. It's probably going to come up either looking like this or with the change log. So this button up here is a new file, and we can go through and create a new file, and it's basically just a text document editor so far, but the first thing we always want to do is save. So we can just go file, save as, not save it, copy as, file, save as, and we're going to find a spot to put it. I've decided to put it in documents. I've created a new folder. I don't need to create a new folder, but you can see there I've got 11 Digital Solutions 2022, and in here I'm going to name it. Now naming is quite important. Index is just what the home page of a website's usually called, and HTML because that's the language we're using. No, I do not want to replace it actually, so I'm going to call this one index 1. Alrighty. You can call yours index.html. Mine's just, I've already got one started here, so this is the one we're actually going to be using. So we're going to be talking about HTML and your first web page. And so there's a few things that I want you to fill in. You'll notice I've got title, on-screen title, subtitle, paragraph 1, paragraph 2, image, and link. Yours, if you type this much, probably won't look like this. It'll probably look like something like this. All I've done is I've turned on text wrap so that the paragraph, this first big paragraph on line 9, actually goes through and wraps across the screen so that you can actually read it nice and easily. I just like that setting. I think it's a nice one. So I want you to come on. You can use the ones that I've got written here, but I think it'd be more fun to create your own. And come up with a title, what's going to be on the screen as the main title, a subtitle, a couple of paragraphs, and an image and a link. So go through and do that. I'll show you how to do the image and the link now if that's what you're having trouble with. So the first thing that I want to find is a web page. So I'm going to go to St. Patrick's College Mackay, and I'm just going to copy that link from the URL and paste it in there. That's the link I want to link to. The image is a little bit harder. I always do this as my first one, but dog. Let's find a nice image of a dog. There's a few nice dogs in here. Oh, this one looks quite nice and happy, so let's take this dog. What we want to do is we want to copy image address. Now, we get this beautiful long thing here. So it's good once you've actually done this to just test that it's actually working. Best way to test that it's actually working is to... See, often it doesn't work first try, and so what I tend to do is I actually tend to go to the actual page that it's on, and then do the same thing. So in this case, I'm here, scroll, let's find this cute little dog. Here's the one. Copy image address, and there we go. And if you click on this link, it should open just to a page with this on it. If you can't double click on it, or it will take you to a page, then you haven't actually selected the image itself. Usually you'll know it's good because it'll have like a .jpeg or a .png at the end. Alrighty, so I've now got an image, a link, and a couple of paragraphs, and some other stuff that I want to style. Obviously your website could be about anything. I've just done it about myself, but you could make it about your hobby, or maybe a TV show you really like. Anything, doesn't matter. This is just for your own benefit to learn a little bit of HTML. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to learn how to format the beginning of a HTML page. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So what that means is that HTML is just a way of formatting text. In particular, hypertext. We don't even know what hypertext is yet, but it's text with some other fun stuff built in. So it's a hypertext markup language. Markup just means that it tells you how to actually display different stuff. So to begin with, we're going to put an HTML tag. So the HTML tag has two parts to it, an opening tag and a closing tag. So this is the opening tag on the left here. You can think of it as like a left bracket, and this is the closing tag on the right with the slash in it. These V brackets that you'll see that are on either side of HTML are found above the comma and the full stop button on your keyboard, and the slash is next to those. It's next to the question mark key on your keyboard. So from there, you can kind of think of everything that goes in between this as being whatever's inside the brackets. So what we're saying is that the HTML tag starts here and it finishes here. We're going to take this second one, Control X cut, and we're going to put it at the bottom of the web page. Basically saying that everything inside here is part of these brackets inside this HTML document. We do, however, put one thing before this, and that's the declaring doc type. So it's exclamation mark after a V bracket, doc type HTML. Alrighty, and that's your basic structure of a HTML website. You've got the doc type declaration, doc type document type, HTML, hypertext markup language. So inside here, we're going to put a little bit of our head. Now, our head is the first section of the web page. And the head is a section, so it's going to be similar to the previous one. Now, what goes in the head? Well, the things that go in the head is anything that doesn't appear on the web page. So let's go back to the St. Patrick's College website. Right, you'll notice there's a bunch of stuff on the page. Everything, these links are on the page, this image is on the page, this background, this slideshow, this title, logo, all of this stuff is on the page. And then there's stuff that isn't on the page. So for example, this tiny thing up here, it's got a little logo, it's got a home dash St. Patrick's College dash, well, it says Mackay Senior Catholic High School. Right, so that's the full title. You can actually read it there underneath my mouse hovering, but it's probably a bit too long. It's a little bit too long. I mean, even this next one, the science-backed benefits of being a dog owner, it's just too long. Can't read it all. So you generally want to have a title. This is called a title, and we generally want a title that's nice and quick. So to start our title, we say title, and to end our title, we say title in our tag. So this is a title tag, and inside there, we're going to put my first web page. So let's pop that in there. And you go, okay, well, did it work? Did it do anything? Well, there's only one way to test it, and that's actually to run it. HTML is a really easy language to actually run. All you have to do is click on the file. So if we go into File Explorer, I'm going to go to my documents, I'm going to go to 11 Digital Solutions 2022, and you'll see I've got this HTML, index.html, so this is the one that we're working on. You can see it matches the name there. Double click, and here we go. And you go, that's an awful website. You've made garbage. And no, we're going to make it look a little bit nicer in a moment, but you can see at the top here, it says my first web page. That's what this title tag is doing. It's saying this text here, that's the title. Put it where the title should go. And that's another interesting thing you might notice is that when we actually look at all of this, I've got enters, new lines all over the place, but it's not respecting any of that. HTML on your first web page should be in a different line type of text tag markup language, and yet it's not. In fact, there is no enters or returns been clicked on this entire page. The whole thing has no breaks in it. So now what we actually need to do is format what our different sections are going to look like. The first thing is I actually don't want this to go on the screen. So I'm going to turn it into a comment. And the way we do that is we just use this bit of notation here. And this is a comment. So basically what that's going to do is it's going to no longer print this to the screen. I can still read it here. So if I'm going back and making a change, I can still say, oh yeah, HTML on your first web page. But now when I refresh the page, it's actually gone. So it's still here, but it's gone. In this case, I also don't want it to say hypertext markup language first. So let's comment that all, write it out of the way. And now it's all gone now off the screen. So it's clearing it up a little bit. You can see I've got these 2 or 4 links sitting down here. So we're going to have to fix those up a little bit later on. So the first thing, let's learn about our next section of the thing. We have the head, which is the beginning. It's everything that doesn't go on the screen. Sets up some links and stuff. The next major section is the body. And the body tag should have basically everything else. You'll notice that the head tag was inside the HTML tag, and the body tag is also going to be inside. So I'm going to actually finish the body tag down here. So we've now got HTML, which is the whole page, a head tag, which is the top part, and the body tag, which is this bottom section here. And from here, we can now start actually formatting everything else. So I want this welcome to my first web page to be the most important thing on the page. And I can say that by using a H1 tag. Now H1 tag basically stands for heading 1, meaning the most important thing on the page. So heading 1 means that this is going to display as a heading. And you can see it's a heading. It's a few ways. It's gotten the text font sizes a little bit bigger. It looks maybe bolded, maybe not bolded. But it's also on a new line, and you can see it's got these little spaces above and below. It's not just on a new line, there's actually a bit of space, a bit of padding below the text before the next line actually starts. So that's my first one. Now the subtitle was my biography, and so I'm going to put that in a H2 tag. And I'm just going to get rid of this subtitle bit. You'll notice that I've been moving stuff in. I've been using the tab key to do that. We call this indentation. It's just a way to try to keep the page look nice and organized. So we've got our H1 tag, which is welcome to my first web page, and a H2 tag, my biography. And you can see now I've got, oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, see, I didn't close my tag right here. H2 closed. And now this is back to normal. Alrighty, so we've got welcome to my first web page, my biography, and let's actually go through and turn some of these into paragraphs. So you'll notice that once again, this is one paragraph, but I actually want us to be separate paragraphs. So the way to create paragraphs is we use the P tag. The P tag is a paragraph tag. And you'll see I'll put it at the start and the end of the paragraph, and then I'll do the same thing for the second paragraph as well. And this is going to separate each of these bits of text into their own lines. Okay, so that's pretty much a pretty good looking website right now. We've got a heading 1, a heading 2, and a couple of paragraphs. So that's a lot of what you would actually want to know. There's a few other things we might want to do, and those are images and links. Now we're going to do these in the slightly harder option first. So we're going to do the image first. The image tag is a little bit different. So we've learned about the H1 tag, the H2 tag, the P tag for headings that are really important, headings that are pretty important, and for paragraphs. But there's other stuff that we can do as well. And so let's have a look at the image tag. The image tag is a different sort of tag. The image tag is just a single tag. And what it does is it just says, this is an image. It doesn't actually have a closing tag. It is a self-closing tag, meaning that you don't actually need to have a separate tag to close it. Because when you have an image, it's not like you're going to have multiple images in one tag. One image tag has one image in it. And what we do is we take the image tag and we give it an attribute. And we add attributes inside the actual tag itself. See, we haven't done this before yet. So we just go space, and then we can add an attribute. And the first attribute we want to add is the src, and that is where we want to put our link to the image. So it's image space src stands for source equals, so we're saying the source of the image is equal to, and then we've got our link. Now you'll notice I've put these quotation marks, these double quotation marks, which is next to your enter key, on either side of the link, and I can save that. And if I refresh, you'll see I've got my image. There's my dog, happy on the page. I might want it to be a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger, so I can actually add multiple attributes. This is the first attribute I've given it. I've said that the source is equal to this, but I could give it another attribute. For example, I could say that the width of the image should be 1,000 pixels. Okay, so width equals 1,000, and I can refresh the page, and now I've got a very big dog. I could also give it the height attribute, and say height equals 50, and now I'm going to have a very wonky looking dog, but a dog nonetheless. So that's just a little bit of an introduction into these sorts of tag stuff. I, in fact, don't want to specify the width or the height. Actually, I might make the width, say 500. Let's just make it nice 500. See what that looks like, and I think we'll leave it there. Yeah, there's a happy looking dog, so we'll keep that. So that's how an image tag works. You just take the source of the image, put it in there, inside quotation marks, and then put a width. If you want to duplicate the image, you can just duplicate it. Copy and paste, and then now I've got 2 dogs instead of 1 dog. If I want one of the dogs to be higher up on the page, I just need to put it higher up on the page. So now I'll have a dog in between the welcome and the my biography. So you can see that we can kind of structure what actually goes inside the website by just moving these tags around and setting it the way we want it to set it up. So the last thing we're going to have a look at is doing a link. So the link is a little bit different. It's done using what's called an anchor tag. The anchor tag is just A for anchor. So an anchor tag does actually have a little bit like the p tag and a little bit like the image tag. It's got an open and a close, but it's also got an attribute, and the attribute, similar to src for source, is the href, and the href says, where does the link take me? And so I can take this, cut it, Control X, paste it, Control V, and actually set it up. Now if I just do this, no text is actually going to appear on the screen. So I need to give it, so I'm going to put St. Patrick's College website is going to be the text, and when you click on that text, it's going to take you to the St. Patrick's website. So if I save and refresh the page, you'll see I've lost my image, but you can see there's a cute little, there's this little bit of underlined purple text. It's purple because I've already clicked on it, but you can see that when I click on that, that takes me to the St. Patrick's College website page. That's what we wanted. But I don't really like the look of it. The one thing that I don't really like about it is the fact that this is on the same line as the image. It doesn't really look very nice. First thing, let's put it above. And see if that makes it look any better. So I'll get rid of my Google Classroom, and we'll just refresh this, and you can see it's I know it's just on the other side, it's still on the same line. So if we want to put a break in, well, we could use a paragraph tag, but sometimes we just want to put a break. The tag to do that is like the image tag. It's a self-closing one, so it's the BR tag, stands for break. And if we do that, that's going to put it on a new line. We can do that twice, and it'll put 2 new lines after each other, like so. And so now you can see that I've finished my first website. Now, what I want you to have a go at is I've shown you how to use break tags, image tags, A tags, P tags, H1, H2 body tags, head tags, title tags, HTML tags. This is enough to build your first website. It doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to take you that long, but I just want you to have a play around. Make your first website, see if you can get it to work. I want, as bare minimum, you to have at least one functional link, and I want you to have at least a couple of images throughout it. And have a few paragraphs, have a play around with it, and see what you can actually make. There's a lot more you can learn about HTML, but this is just a real quick introduction. I hope you've learned something. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.